And so what I want to do at this point in time is jump to our first guest and an important part of this to share his story, and that is the founder of Avion, Mr. Joe Mittiga. Joe, you out there?
I'm here, Rick. I'm here. Thanks, everybody. Welcome. Welcome to the call. And, Rick, thanks for having me on as a guest. It's an exciting day. You know, I'll tell you my story. It's pretty similar, I'm sure, to everybody on this call. My history is 20-plus years in the direct marketing world, always pursuing an opportunity to make extra money for my family, hoping someday to build something that would create a substantial difference. So like all of you on the call today, I've sat exactly where you are in the field, hoping that the new opportunity that was being presented to me was the one, if you will. And, you know, our story is one that starts off, like I say, 25 years ago. Rick and I date back that far, and you know, I kind of progressed through the idea of business opportunities, and really about 10-plus years ago moved from the discretionary product world, i.e. the world of nutritionals, into the energy world. And it just kind of made sense to me, if I was going to build a business, let's do it on a product that everybody had to have. And when I was introduced to the residential side of energy way back when, you know, it made a lot of sense. You know, bottom line, people are going to use electricity. They're going to use natural gas. And if I was going to build a business, it made sense to do it there. Well, quite honestly, it didn't take me long. I mean, I was in that world, the residential side, 6, 8, 10 months, built a pretty substantial team. And then I was introduced to the commercial side of things. And it was really simple, the decision to shift from a residential focus to a commercial focus, when I learned one simple fact about energy. And what I learned about the energy world out there is that commissions are paid on consumption. It's not based on price point. It's not based on savings. It's not based on anything except the amount that you use. So I figured, quite simply, you know, if I was going to have a conversation with somebody, I could look at a house and they had a particular size of consumption, or a small to medium-sized business, which would 10 times the consumption, or a medium to large-sized business, which might 100 times the consumption. And it just made sense we should go into the commercial world. And, you know, one thing led to another. I was on a call about 7-plus years ago, and the founder, the owner of that company, came on. He'd never been in networking. He'd never been out in the field. He had no idea what people went through. And he basically came on a call and blew it up. I had 300 people. After that call, I had 100, and, you know, I had lost faith, quite honestly. And I was then on a phone call with somebody, and they said, you know, Joe, you need to start your own. And my reply to that, my reactionary reply was, start my own what? And lo and behold, you know, it was start my own energy company, start my own commercial energy company. And that's exactly what we did. July the 4th, 2010, I did my official resignation. I contacted 5 of the 300 people on my team, the 5 people that I dealt with every day. One of those people, you heard his name there a minute ago, Tom, and another one, Jim. And, you know, I said, guys, you know what? We're going to do it. I'm going to start it. And here we went. So, you know, it's one thing to have a great idea. It's another thing to implement your great idea. Then it's another thing to figure out the details of it. And what we really realized, that what was happening in the company we were in before, Rick, is that, you know, we'd work hard. We'd work really hard to get a client to look and to listen and to hope we could do something. And then we'd turn it in to our, you know, the company we were with. And lo and behold, since the company only had one price or 2 prices, we'd win some, we'd lose some. And quite honestly, we'd lose more than we'd ever win. It was pretty disheartening. So one of the major things from day one, July the 10th, 2010, that I knew we were going to do, is we were going to go out and create relationships with a lot of the energy suppliers. And I have to admit, in the beginning, I was saying I was going to get a lot of them. And I didn't know what a lot of them was going to be. But it didn't take me long to realize that instead of pursuing, you know, a small number or even a medium-sized number, my mind said, let's just go get them all. Literally, let's go get them all. And get all what? All of the largest. And there's only a couple surprises in this whole business that ever really surprised me. And one of my single largest fears, Rick, and I'll tell you, you and I talked about this for years, is that my fear as the founder here was that people are putting their relationships, their sacred relationships on the line for us. We're committing to them, they're committing to us, and they're taking our service out there. And, it was just something that kept me awake in the beginning because I was concerned. Well, we started from the idea of competitive pricing. We moved into the world of best pricing when we got our 27th provider. In the beginning, I would call and call and call. It was my full-time job for 3 years to create the relationships, to create the exposure, to tell the commercial energy world that Avion was out there. And, honestly, I thought it would be easy. When I really got in the center of it, I realized this is going to take a lot of time, it's going to take a lot of effort, and quite honestly, we were in no rush. Jim, my partner, which you'll hear from in a minute, we said from the beginning we were going to build something that would be here long term. At the time, I had a 4-year-old. Now I have a 9 and a 4-year-old. My dream of aspirations was to build a business to where when my kids went to college, they could go wherever they wanted, not based on Dad's bank account, but based on their abilities and desires. So now I'm happy to say, we're in the 70-plus range, 60 different companies and contracts everywhere. And as you're on this call, you're going to realize how that really benefits each of you on this call. The bottom line now, in any given market across the country, from Maine to Florida, from Georgia to Texas, Illinois, East, if you've got a client, we can find them the best price. Why are we so confident? Because we've got contracts now, independent contracts, and all the same, so we're non-biased on our side with the top 10, for sure, the top 30 we're believing, and when you have all of the biggest, the bottom line, the benefit goes to the client, and our renewal rate is extremely high because of the process that we work. So, Rick, it's an exciting day. This is a day that we've been planning on for a long time. Avion's here, with a huge track record. We've been doing this for a long time. We've got, hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of satisfied clients, and our proof of concept's out there and it works. So we're excited to have you guys on the call. Anything we can do to support the process, just let us know. And Rick, thanks for having me on the call. I really appreciate your time today.